Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to a new episode of When You're Delusional, You're Gonna Be on TikTok. I do hope you're gonna enjoy the video, so let's just get into it.
So I love this. Can you talk about why women seem to be much happier living single than men are?
I have some thoughts about this, naturally. So, in recent studies, actually, even though the patriarchy and society pushes this message of women being lonely cat ladies if they're not in a relationship, they're going to die alone, all this bullshit, studies have shown that single women are actually the happiest subgroup of people. 61% of heterosexual women are single and happy versus 49% of heterosexual men. So what has changed here? Because I know from growing up watching Disney movies, all of that, that the message that was ingrained in my mind and many little girls' mind is you need to be saved by this masculine prince, this king of a man. He's going to ride in, he's going to save you, he's going to complete you because you can't do it for yourself. And what I think's happened over the years, there's been this movement of women just having enough of being told what to do, enough of being told how to live their lives, enough of shitty relationships. And there's been this movement of women taking ownership over their self-growth and their self-love and their self-worth, which is a huge one. And in this path of self-love and expansion and knowing your worth, women are just refusing to put up with the same things that they might have done before. I feel like we're just really focused on being the person that we used to wish we could have for ourselves. We want to be the knight in shining armor. We want to be the warrioress that completes us because we know going on this self-worth journey that it's all here. It's all within. We can't be bothered with a relationship that isn't beautiful and wonderful, and compatibility is huge now. Whereas before, I think that many of us was just kind of wanting to be less lonely, where now we see this like, well, I would rather feel loneliness rather than being in a shitty relationship that no longer serves me and isn't in line with my self-worth. So I'd love to hear from you, like, why are you happier single? And that doesn't mean that you're never going to get in a relationship, but it's about when the right relationship comes around, your self-worth and your self-love is so sky high that becomes a beautiful partnership. So I'd love to hear from you. What do you think? What is the answer to this question? Your unique answer.
Well, you ask, so I'm gonna answer. You're not gonna like the answer though, but for one, I'm happy that you moved away from the Disney movies, from all those romantic comedies where the man will put his life on hold just for your happiness. And I'm also thrilled that you found your self-worth, your self-love. The only issues I have is when you say it so many times in a single video, it looks more like you're trying to convince yourself than me. Now, I'm not saying that every single one of you claiming that are happier single are actually bitter that they cannot find a solid relationship, but I guess I am saying that some of you are exactly that. Now let's take a look at the study you've mentioned earlier about 61% of you being happier when you're single, not married, and not even in a long-term relationship. This right here is the article that mentioned the study and is saying that women are actually happier being single than men are. In a research by the market research firm Mintel, 61% of single women say they are happy with their relationship status compared to 49% of single men. But now if we click on that link that takes us to the research, it opens up this page. Now this study started in 2020 when the lockdown started, and it says with many forced to remain at home, there were increased feelings of loneliness and isolation, with 71% of singles, that's both men and women, saying they have been actively looking to find a partner in the last 12 months. Because of the limits to socializations throughout 2020 and into 2021, more singles moved to socialize and date in virtual spaces. 43% of those looking for a partner have reported using a free dating app as a way of connecting with other singles. However, with 72% of singles reporting having more freedom without a partner and 68% saying it is no longer taboo to be single, finding a partner is no longer seen as essential. Nowhere to be seen the 61% you were talking about. Now, also another study that you've mentioned, because you're talking about a subgroup of the population, was made by this guy, Paul Dolan, and he claims that unmarried and childless women are the happiest subgroup in the population. They're more likely to live longer than their married and child-rearing peers. Now, this is what Paul Dolan said. We do have some good longitudinal data following the same people over time, but I'm going to do a massive disservice to that science and just say, if you're a man, you should probably get married. If you're a woman, don't bother. And this is the part that I don't understand. Why is this ideology being pushed on men and women? Just so they can divide us even further? But that's just me. Let's get back to this Paul Dolan guy. Or in fact, what other researchers said about his studies. Dolan seems to have misread a question that asked about whether a spouse is present or absent. Dolan appears to have misread ATU's surveys question regarding whether or not spouse was in the household to refer to whether or not the spouse was present for the interview, and thereby drew incorrect conclusions about marriage happiness, especially wife's happiness. Now we have graphs to disprove Dolan's theory, and we see that 45% of women are happier by being married compared to 24%, and if we look at the unhappiness, it's 6% for married women compared to 21% for unmarried women. Now, to be honest, I still don't care about your happiness. If you're happy or not, it doesn't affect me one bit. But I do find it ironic that you're talking about how happy you are, but you're still trying to find that good relationship, compared to when men say, we're done, they're going their own way, never considering relationships again. And yet somehow there's this ideology that is being pushed on us that's trying to make me believe that I'm the unhappier one when I chose to go my own way a long time ago. Either way, everything is case by case situation. So if you really are happy being single, be happy, enjoy your life, but just stop pushing your ideologies on others. If they're gonna be happy being married or not, let them find their happiness in their own way. Just because you're telling them they're gonna be happier when they're single, it's not gonna make them happier.
Girls, you can't park there.
Well, it looks like perfect parking to me. But anyway, I made this longer than I wanted. So if it wasn't way too boring for you and you're still here, let me just say thank you all for watching, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.